Good afternoon. Today I am going to present a video lecture on this subject, object-oriented software engineering. So I am Dr. J. Paramesh, Professor in the Department of Computer Science Engineering, Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research. The Unit 3 topic I am going to present in object-oriented software engineering. Before we start the Unit 3 topic, let's have a previous topic revision on the previous topic. So Unit 1, I think students, you might have been familiar with the topic object-oriented methodologies. You might have studied the introduction to system concepts, how we are managing the complex software, what is object-oriented system development, what is object basics, what are the properties of objects. Then you might have studied about object-oriented software engineering. Also, you might have studied the Jacobson methodology in Unit 1. Unit 1 is about object-oriented methodology. So these are all the various subtopics you might have come across in Unit 1. In Unit 2, you might have experienced the topic UML. So in UML, you might have studied about what is a unified approach. Is it right? Able to remember what is that unified approach? Okay, it is a combined approach of Jacobson, Rumbach, and Booch methodology to define the software development process in a different methodology. So the normal software engineering methodology of system development is shown here. The planning, analysis, design, implementation, maintenance. So the planning is nothing but it obtains the approval for project. That's the initial step. Okay, it initiates the project development activity. You are going for feasibility study. That is, you are assessing the feasibility study. You plan and schedule the project. That is the initial stage of project development or any system development. In analysis, you understand the business need and processing needs, isn't it? Able to understand? So what is the actual problem? Okay, that is to be analyzed. So how we are going to process it? That is given in analysis. Okay. So you have a thorough understanding of the business. Business is nothing but the product you are going to develop, isn't it? That is the complete system you are going to develop. So what are the needs for the product development? That is very, very important. So design, next phase is the design. So what are the information that you have analyzed that has to be given into a solution, isn't it? The solution has to be developed. So with the given the facts you have collected, you have to go for the design. The design is leading to a logical architecture of the system you are going to build. So once the analysis phases is confirmed, you are going for the design phase. Design leads to a logical architecture construction. Okay. So the final decision making is done in the design phase. So in Unit 3, we are going to see the design concepts. So we will have an elaborate discussion on this topic in Unit 3. Now this fundamental concepts in object-oriented methodologies for developing a system. So next phase is the implementation phase. Okay. Next phase is the implementation phase. So where you construct the code, so test the train users, that means third-party testing is needed, okay, with some trained user. That means already these people might have come across with an experience how to test a product. So before delivering the product, we need to test the product. Then we have to release the product. Okay. So before releasing the product, we need a testing process. Okay. So the planning phase is to gather the basic information, whether the particular problem can be developed. Okay. Whether all the resources are available. Okay. When we can start the project. Okay. When it has to end. What is the cost factor available? Okay, what is the time limit is given? Everything is planned in the planning phase. Analysis phase, we have to look for the resources, whether hardware resources, okay, and then people resources, software resources, okay, everything is available or not. Okay, what is the risk factor that can come across to develop the problem or any system, right? So the design phase, once the analysis phase is over, requirements gathering is over, we are going for the logical architecture construction. Okay, this is based on purely, okay, the previous two phases. So we need to proceed with the development of an architecture or design of an architecture with the help of the two phases we have experienced. Next, after developing the decision making, okay, process, after developing the architecture, we need to go for constructing the code for the design we have developed, and then we have to put for a testing process with the trained users, and then we can install or release the new product. Okay, so maintenance also another phase, so which keep the system healthy. Okay, that means here a fine-tuning process is maintained every then and there, such that the product we have developed has to meet out the market demand. Okay, the product we have developed with much cost and time should not be thrown away simply. So we need to save the product that we have developed. Okay, so like the Oracle versions you have experienced, okay, Oracle 6, Oracle 7, Oracle 8, Oracle 10G, like that. Okay, the improved versions can be maintained, okay, such that it meets the market demand. So these are all the phases of the system development. Next, we focus on the analysis phase. Okay, so this phase, okay, defines the system to be built in terms of problem domain, okay, object model, requirements model, and analysis model. Okay, so problem domain object model is the initial stage. We are going to develop a solution, whether this project can be done, okay, or it can be thrown away at the initial stage itself. Okay, if it is viable, then what are the requirements we need? Okay, what are the risk factors? Everything we have to analyze. Okay, the analysis phase is the initial phase or initial activity for any problem development. Okay, so that means here for any system development, right? So it should not take into account the actual implementation environment. So analysis phase should only work with the basic idea. It should not give a complete implementation details. Okay, it should not give a actual environment, implementation environment. Okay, this is a core initial process that has to be done in the analysis phase. So what is this design and implementation phase? So design and implementation phase, we are going to reduce the complexity and promotes maintainability over the life of the system. So what is that reducing complexity? So if you are dealing with 1,000 or 10,000 lines of code, okay, AI users cannot able to understand what is this coding meant for. Okay, so we are going to develop a solution for the complexity of the problem. How will you reduce the complexity? So this is very important. You can reduce the complexity by means of breaking down or decomposing the entire system into sub-units. So this object-oriented methodologies give a way to the solution or the problem in handling the complexity of the project. Okay, so it decomposes the entire project into subsystem or modules. We call it as modules or a unit. Okay, so each unit is responsible, or each module is responsible for one service of the system. Later on, you integrate the subsystems to give the entire solution, or the entire complete environment or complete system is developed with the concept of decomposing the system into subsystems, or we call it as modules or units. Okay, so in this way we can identify what are the problems that I come across in the subunits or modules. Okay, so once a system is failed, okay, you not worry about the entire system. You can focus on particular subsystem where we have the problem. Then we can identify or rectify the problem in that particular unit. Then we can integrate the system. Okay. So why? Because of one module, the entire system should not be failed. Okay. So that means everyone will be put on hold situation if the entire system is failed. So if you have a practice of breaking the entire system into subsystems, then if one system fails, then the other system functionality is not affected. Able to understand? So this is a best practice given by this object-oriented methodologies. So next we focus on the analysis model. Analysis model is the base of understanding the requirements model. So analysis process is iterative, but both analysis model and requirements model should be stable. Okay, must be stable. Okay. So analysis process, that is the iteration process in finding out the resources, other factors, is iterative. Once the model is developed, it should be stable. Okay. So analysis phase leads to a better analysis. Okay. Better requirements gathering can be achieved with the help of analysis phase. It is the initial phase where you can find some basic idea about the problem development or system development. Okay. So in the requirements phase, you are going for further analysis where you can achieve more concepts, or you gather more concepts related to your project development activities. So the testing phase focuses on 3 levels: unit testing, integration testing, system testing. As I told you, okay, the importance of how you reduce the complexity. Okay, you are breaking down the entire system into subunits or unit or a module. Okay, so the entire units are individually tested, then you integrate the units, okay, with some relationship, then you construct the entire system. Okay, so your 3 level of testing is carried out: unit testing, the individual subunits, then you integrate the subunits in, and then test it, and then the entire system. Okay, the construction of the entire system is tested, right? So the OID approach, the phase of life cycle, we have inception, elaboration, construction, and then transition. So inception is the today's topic I'm going to discuss. So inception phase is the initial phase of product life cycle, or phase of life cycle. So it gives the initial step for the product development activity. Okay, elaboration phase, it adds on some more analysis, and then it leads to a architectural design. So construction, we are constructing the code, and then transition, we are going through, okay, after construction of code, we are going to test the system, and then we are going to finalize the product. Okay, so the final product is released, and then we are going to test. Okay, so transition is one phase to another phase. What is the state of the system? Okay, so we are going to define the problem. Okay, what are the blueprints you are going to document about the system? Okay, So what are the resources available? What is the risk factor? Okay, available. Everything is the initial stage, inception. So elaboration, we provide more knowledge on the requirements gathering. So other risk factors is discussed in the elaboration phase, and then we finally go for the final design of architecture. And then this architecture is going to be constructed in the next phase. Okay, that means we are going for constructing the code, and then finally we translate the code into a useful product to the society. These are all the phases of life cycle in OOAD approach. Okay. Now let's focus on what is inception. Okay, so in general, so it provides the establishment of the business case. Business case is the problem. Okay, for the system, that is for any application. So we are going to establish the business case, that is a problem, and then we define the risk. Okay, it obtained only 10 to 20% of the requirements, and also it estimates the next phase effort. Okay, next phase effort is the elaboration phase or evolutionary requirements. Okay, so inception, elaboration, or elaboration is also called as evolutionary requirements, and then we go for construction, and then we go for transition. Right, these are all the phases of life cycle in software engineering. Okay, or in OOAD software development process. Right. So the inception phase focuses on analyzing the feasibility of a project. Okay, feasibility is the viability, right? So we are going to judge, can we make a business case to prove this project is a good idea? Okay, so we have to discuss once a problem is defined, whether this problem, business case can be developed, okay, whether it is a good idea to develop this problem. Everything has to be analyzed. This inception is the initial stage or initial activity we are going to perform once the problem has been defined to an organization. Okay, a customer is going to define a problem to an organization. Okay, so organization for the customer need, we are developing the product, isn't it? So ultimate aim of the organization is to develop the product within cost and time limit. Okay, so budget has to be allotted. This is very important. Why? Because the organization has to prove their revenue. Okay, so they need revenue. Okay, if the entire cost is wasted, then there is no use of developing the product. Okay, so if a customer gives 50 crores, okay, the company may invest 30 crores for the product development activity, remaining 20 crores, they may save it. Okay, this is a revenue, right? So these are all the basic idea for developing the product by an organization. Okay, so is this project technically feasible? What is that? So with the available technology in the organization, whether we can be able to develop the particular problem. Okay, whether the system can be developed or not. So they have to look for the people with the available technology in their organization. Okay, so if you are applying the one technology for developing that particular problem, so you should also parallelly look for the persons who is well and good with that particular technology, right? So how much time and money will this project need? As I told you, okay, it is a software engineering concept to develop the product within time and cost limit. So how much time and money will this project need? Isn't it? Okay, that is the important aspect for a project. Okay, so what risk can we foresee? So these are all the basic idea in inception. So let's see some of the objectives of inception. Okay, to gain an understanding of the domain. Okay, what is that? Understanding the domain means understanding the problem. So we are having a knowledge on that, right? So delimit the scope of the proposed project with a focus on the subset of the business model that is covered by the proposed software product. Okay. So it determines the scope of the proposed project with a focus on the subset of the business model. That means we are going to focus whether this entire Okay, proposed system can be developed within the time. Okay, and whether we can meet out the product development activities in time, everything. Okay, we have to determine the scope of the proposed project with a focus on the subset of the business model, means with a focus on the problem domain we are going to develop. Okay, so it defines an initial business case. As I told you, it defines the initial business case. Okay, that is business case is the initial problem. Okay, business case is the actual system we are going to develop. Okay, so what are the initial business case we are going to foresee? Cost, schedule, risk, priorities, and the development plan. So it also defines whether any prototypes need to be mitigate the risk. Okay. So if the risk factors are too complex, we are going to analyze whether a prototype model should be developed for mitigating the risk. Mitigating is nothing but making the risk factors into easy way. Okay, in an easy way, how we can develop the project or how we can reduce the risk. Mitigate is reducing the risk or how to make it easy, right? So it obtained the stakeholder concurrence. The stakeholder is nothing but the customer concurrence. Okay, on scope definition. That means in initial phase, once the customer is explaining his problem, okay, we need to get the concurrence or agreement from the stakeholder before developing the project. Okay, if you're in your understanding, you might have developed one solution. Okay, from customer point of view, he might have told that I have not told this type of development activities or this what. Okay, this is what I expected. Okay, so you may refuse sometimes. Okay, so every iteration, analysis phase, okay, evolutionary phase, construction phase, and then final before product development or releasing, you can have a meeting with the customer. Okay, often such that your money, okay, and time may not be wasted. If the entire project, if he is refusing, then the entire project time, cost, everything will be lost, isn't it? So the stakeholder concurrence is very, very important. The inception activities. So the project initiation activities allow the new ideas to be evaluated for potential software development. Okay. So the initiation activity, as I told you, inception is a initiation activity or initial activity which allows us to form a new idea to be evaluated for the potential software development process. Okay, the project planning. Okay, this project planning work activities to be built with the team members and it perform the initial project planning activities. Okay. So the project work, planning activities should be developed with the team members so that we can come across the initial project planning activities. Okay, so inception means initial or initiating the problem. Okay, so requirements work activities will define the business case for this potential software. Okay, so after this inception phase, we are going for evolutionary requirements or elaboration phase where we have more requirements gathering. That means here we will have a thorough analysis. Okay, so we can build up another important or other important aspects of analysis where we are leaving some of the aspects, in the analysis phase, inception phase. So in the beginning, I told you that inception phase will only initiate 10 to 20% of the development activities. So it may give the basic, requirements gathering activities in the inception phase. Whereas in the requirement phase, we go for the thorough knowledge about the product development activities. Okay, so analysis and maybe design work activities will be used to define and refine the cost, risk, scope, and the candidate architecture. So design activity, okay, is the important activity we are going to apply in this third unit. Okay, so the design concepts, okay, how we are going to bring the requirements into a design that is a logical architecture. That is very important. Okay, so this can be achieved with the design work activities. Okay, so and finally we are going for software construction and then testing activities that will lead to a end product vision. Okay, so the project initiation can start with an idea, specify the end product vision, analyze the project to assess the scope, work for the business case for the project, including overall cost and schedule, and also the known risk. It identifies stakeholders. Stakeholders is customer. Okay, so if you are developing one product on their own, okay, we can say that this product can be suitable for which type of customer. That is identifying the stakeholders. Okay, so particular product is meant for which stakeholder or which type of stakeholders that we have to identify. And obtain funding. Funding is nothing but we obtain the money, right? So after releasing the product, okay, so you may start up with the initial agreement and also few amount of money as an advance, and you develop the product. So once the customer is satisfied upon the end of the product vision, that means end product vision. That is when you release the product, you may obtain the remaining money. Okay. What are the risks involved in developing? This is a risk assessment activities. What are the risks involved in developing the software product, and how can these risks be mitigated? Okay. Mitigated is nothing but resolved or solved. Okay. Or reduced. Okay, as I told you, mitigation is reducing the risk or it make it easy. Okay, how these risks can be made easy, right? So does the team who will develop the proposed software product have the necessary experience? This is an important factor. Okay, as I told you, if you are going to decide a technology for the product development activity, you need to identify the person parallelly who is having that particular technology, right? So whether the team members is having necessary experience, that is an important aspect. Okay, or else, okay, these are all one kind of risk. Okay, if he is not technologically well and good, you have to train him. Okay, so within the available time, you cannot give training and then develop the product. Okay, so if you have experienced people in the technology, so directly you can place the development activity with the help of the person who is sound in the technology, right? So whether a new hardware and software tools needed for this product. Okay, another important risk factor. Okay, whether you need to find a new hardware. Okay, already you might have purchased some hardware for the organization. So for developing in one particular application, okay, whether you need to buy a new hardware. Okay, and whether the particular supplier will supply the hardware in time. Is there any risk? Okay, if the product is not delivered in time, these are all some factors you need to identify. Okay, the risk factors you need to identify. Okay, apart from the hardware risk, you need to find the software risk also. What are the software tools that are needed for developing that particular product? Okay, is it currently available or you need to purchase? Okay, so do they have all the necessary functionality if we are buying a new technology? Okay, that is software technology, whether the tool is having all the functionality, everything you have to run and test. Okay, so these are all the risk factors you need to consider. Okay, so relating to this hardware and software tools that you want to purchase. So when you want to purchase a new hardware and software tools, okay, we need to experience whether these system software can able to run on the hardware you are going to buy. Okay, whether this computer-based information system application can be developed with the help of the new hardware and software. Okay, how many users can work with this hardware and software? Okay, what are the roles of what are the specific job roles of the people, okay, carrying out with this hardware and software? Okay, whether these new hardware and software provide enough controls. That means control is in the sense how many users are allowed. Okay, whether the software and hardware can be interfaced properly or synchronized properly to meet out our development activity. So all this documentation and training manuals have to be prepared based on the hardware and software, okay, before you develop the product. So the risk assessment activities continued. So there are three major risk categories: technical risk. So the technical risk is the hardware and software risk we have discussed in the previous slide, earlier slide. So second risk factor is the risk of not getting the requirements right. So mitigating by performing the requirements workflow correctly. Okay, the risk of not getting the requirements right means if the product development activity is not in a right way, okay, the risk of not getting the requirements right. Okay, if you are not getting the requirements in a right time, okay, in a right way, what are the risks we have to, okay, consider and how we have to overcome that. Okay, the workflow should be properly executed, then only the development activity can be carried out in a correct time, right? A scheduled time, we say that in a scheduled time. So the risk of not getting the architecture right, another factor, if you are not bringing in the architecture in a right way, okay, so if the architecture is not right, then definitely your, okay, analysis phase and elaboration phase is failed. The inception phase and elaboration phase is failed. That means the initial requirements or identifying the problem is not right. So this is another risk factor. So it leads to, okay, leads to incorrect design. That means the architecture you have developed is not sufficiently robust. That means good or strong. Okay. So to overcome or to reduce all this risk factor, all these three classes of risk, okay. So the risk we have to rank. Okay. Ranking the risk factor based on the priority should be very important. Okay, we have to identify which is the critical risk, right? So what is the deliverables? Okay, the primary deliverables, the vision document. Okay, so first thing, once the problem is defined, you have to prepare a blueprint, the documentation, right? So initial version of the environment, okay, adoption. That means, so you are going to inception phase is the initial version of the environment adoption. That means you are going to convert the customer information, right, into a initial version. We are shaping the problem identified or explained by the customer. That is the initial version. So inception deliverables. So we provide a vision document. Second is we provide initial version for the environment adoption of the customer. Okay, that means we are going to identify the customer problem into an initial version. That means with the various discussion and finalizing whether this project can be approved. With this basic idea, okay, whether the resources are available like that, we are going to discuss and finalize the problem. Okay, so we are giving a shape to the problem identified or told by the customer or candidate. So, and also you are going to identify whether any models or prototypes can be developed for the particular problem or system development activity. Okay. So the Articraft, that is the piece of information that has been produced by the system development activity. Okay. So you are going for a problem, domain model, business model, requirements. Business model is nothing but the requirement model, and finally you finalize the requirements, isn't it? And you are going to finally analyze the Articrafts, okay, the piece of information available. So you are going to do construct the domain model, business model, right? So the project plan, okay. So whether you are going in a right way, validation and verification. You have studied in software engineering, okay. Whether the product is built in a right way or we building the product right. Okay, this verification validation is very important in project planning activities. So the project plan with each and every phases, we have a iteration, Okay, so this will be an elaborate project plan activity will be carried out in the elaboration phase. Okay, so this inception deliverables will provide a project glossary. That is a overall basic idea. Okay, project glossary is a overall basic idea, and also it may lead to one or several prototype model. Okay. So questions in this inception phase. Okay. So what are the questions you may pose on this inception phase? Is the proposed software product cost effective? How long will it take to obtain a return on investment? Okay. So upon investing the money, okay, so we need to plan when we can, okay, take back our revenue. That is very important. So what will be the cost if the company decides not to develop the proposed software product? Okay, so if you are not developing the product, okay, so whether the revenue is achieved for the company, okay, if you, based on priority, okay, you may keep this problem domain of the customer, okay, in ideally. If you put it ideally, what will be the cost for the company? That is revenue for the company. Okay. So if the software product is to be sold in the marketplace, so we need to check the necessary marketing studies. We need to identify whether there is necessary marketing. Okay. So you should also experience whether the proposed software product can be delivered in time. Isn't it? These are all the basic questions. Okay. Whether it is cost effective, whether it can produce some revenue. Okay. If it is not developed, what will be the cost of, what will be the revenue of the company? Okay. So if it has to be sold in the marketplace, whether we need any marketing, and then whether the product we are going to develop can be delivered in time. These are all the questions. Okay. So whether the product we have developed will support the customer need. Okay. The client organization own activities. Okay. So what will be the impact if the proposed software product is delivered late? So these are the questions we can raise on the initial stage, right? So the inception activity should be carried out in a good manner such that once the problem has to be defined to the customer, okay, once the problem has been defined by the customer to the organization, so whether this product can be developed, okay, business analyst or system analysis along with some set of team members can sit and have a meeting to decide whether the product can be developed. Okay, if it is developed, what are the other factors we need to consider? So this inception phase is a basic work activities that has to be carried for developing any product. Any queries? Thank you.